recognize my face. Say you don't care who goes.
Now you're probably saying, Pat, why are you playing that theme song again? Because I'm doing this by myself. And I got my notes in front of me, pre-test. And I test all the audio, I test the lines, test the commercials. Also, I noticed we got 2 extra space in there. Then I go live and I test that. Then that's working. I shut that down. And then the last thing is record. And then the next last to the last thing is record. And I noticed when I opened, I didn't have the fuzzy red spot here. When you're recording, it goes fuzzy red. Normally, it's a solid red when you're not recording. But it's why I like gauges. For that matter, I get these OBD displays I like to put on the dashboard of my car so I can see everything that's going on in my car. I don't like idiot lights. These are kind of like idiot lights. So I wasn't sure if I was recording at the beginning of this. So now I am. And just in case Mike needs a spot to jump in, we played that theme music, which I like. It's a new theme song. We brought it in about 2-3 weeks ago. All right, let's get to the show here. Get to the show. HRH. They were supposed to have a meeting at Christ Hospital. Heights. I really have a problem. I don't even want to call it Heights Hospital because just how poorly this thing is being managed and how deceitful HRH has been with Jersey City. I suppose there's an end game to what they want to do here. I know they want to develop it. I really doubt that's going. They want to develop the land. I really doubt that's going to happen as long as Mayor Solomon is the mayor. I know they're talking about, there's possibilities of what could be in the future of the hospital. Well, it was supposed to have a meeting. We did the radio show, I think, on April the 8th, and they were going to have a meeting on April the 15th, the day before. They're trying to cancel. Oh, no, on the 8th, or April the 8th, they sent an email requesting to cancel a meeting at the hospital. And the Department of Health said, no, we're not canceling your meeting. We're having the meeting. And HRH didn't particularly care for that. So what HRH did, they went and got an injunction. Jersey City couldn't get an injunction to stop the hospital from closing, but HRH was able to get an injunction to cancel the meeting. And they actually canceled the meeting, and then it was moved to Dickinson. At the last minute, too, and I was amazed like 100 some odd people showed up. Thankfully. And those are dedicated people. They know we got a serious problem here with the hospital. They showed up, but there was no HRH, because HRH had canceled the meeting, got an injunction against it. But they had the meeting anyway. Mayor Solomon, Ravi was there. Well, Roger McKirkey, Katie Brennan, Jake Efrose, Tom Zuper, all those guys are there. And they had the meeting anyway without HRH present. And, they got a little hostile there because, we're basically at the end of our rope with HRH. They're not making friends anywhere. They're not making friends in Jersey City. They're not making friends in Trenton. And somewhere along the line, a hammer is going to drop. Now, one of the interesting things is, why couldn't they just have the meeting at Christ Hospital? Well, I'll tell you why. They're filming a television show in there. Kathy Bates is there, so I'm going to assume it's Matlock. Could be any kind of other programming. I think they're holding off Matlock until December right now before it comes back. It's on the schedule. They didn't bring it back right now. They're going to wait for the after the September hiatus. So around December, they're going to bring it back. So they might still be filming episodes. I don't know. Or Kathy Bates is working on another project. But there is a production company in there. For that matter, they're saying it's pretty rough in there. The roof's leaking. It's a shabby kind of place. Kind of word you're getting out of the production people. Those people pay a lot of money for spaces. So HRH is looking at that saying, we're making more money here than we were running the hospital. Well, let's let the television programming go. And that's what they did. And that's probably the reason they went around closing the hospital as fast as they did, but then they were getting some television bucks. So they had the meeting at Dickinson. And again, kudos to all the people that showed up at the last minute, because this was really last minute. Once it was canceled, they moved it over to Dickinson, and HRH wouldn't let the people at Christ Hospital, so they moved it to Dickinson, and then they got the injunction. So kudos to everybody who stayed with it, went to Dickinson. Probably some of you haven't been to Dickinson in a long, long time, so you went to your old stomping grounds when you were in high school. And it was a pretty contentious meeting. People, like I said, we're at the end of our rope with HRH. You can't believe a damn thing they're saying. Legally, they're outmaneuvering us, the city of Jersey City and the state. But that's only for a matter of time. Because eventually, the city and the state's going to get the upper hand. I am amazed. And if the hospital is in this bad a condition, I strongly recommend we do an inspection to the city. Because it could be dangerous in there. I would send our inspectors, but first I'd send the fire marshals. Or you can hold off an inspector. You can't hold off the fire marshal. Fire marshal shows up, you got to let him in. I would send the fire marshal, let the fire marshals take out their pad, write a few things up, and then the building department comes in. Then you start getting some honest answers here. Maybe you stop that TV production. Maybe that's what happens. But it starts with the fire marshal. Send the fire marshal there, Mayor Solomon. And I just got to get used to not saying Fulop. I'm saying Fulop for 12 years. Mayor Solomon, send the fire marshal there. Have him take a look. Let's see what he can write up on his pad. And when that's done, then you send building in there. And the fire marshal might say, we'll have to stop everything. Everybody out of the building. This is dangerous. And that's a problem for HRH. Now, before I don't want to keep painting HRH as the devil here. They are business people. There are some legitimate gripes to their financial problems. And it's probably a stream of revenue can be discovered for a Christ Hospital. There are problems with the charity care reimbursements, non-insured reimbursements, like how people are blaming the big, beautiful bill, which doesn't take effect until next year. There are issues. There are no Medicare cuts right now, no Medicare cuts right now. That doesn't start until 2026. I think right now the feds are trying to figure out all the fraud that's in Medicare and Medicaid, and there's probably a buku amount of fraud in Medicare and Medicaid. There's some legitimacy. We'd have to look at it. I don't know where we are with the Hudson County Commissioner's investigation committee. I'll find out this week. I'll reach out to Commissioner Anthony Romano and find out where that board is, because we got to start bringing some people in here and find out what transpired. How did we get to this situation? But there are some serious questions that have to be answered, and nobody should be off limits. And that includes the former mayors of Hoboken, Jersey City, and Bayonne. Even though I don't think Jimmy Davis was on the not-for-profit board that was involved with all this transition to selling and swinging over to Hudson Regional, but I'd be interested in Jimmy Davis's take on what has happened here. I'd like to ask Jimmy Davis why he changed his mind, because he was hell-bent against HRH. And then, they had that Boo-Kook happy day, and everybody was, holding hands and swaying back and forth, singing song Kumbaya. And that all fell apart pretty quick when we found out they didn't have any money. They said he had $300 million. I don't think they had any millions. Because right after, like I said on the radio show, I think it was in October, after the big Kumbaya with everybody, and we were swinging back and forth. You picture that in your head. All the hospital officials and our elected officials all swinging back and forth. How great we are. We saved the hospital, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't long after. I think it was in October. September, October. I checked my phone. They started asking for money from the state. I think it was $25 million. And I'm looking at this saying, something ain't right here. They got $300 million. What are they looking for $25 million? And that was what I call the red flags. And I had reached out for Senator Brian Stack, mayor of Union City also. And said, this is good money after bad. There's something wrong here. Then they got the $25 million. So, a lot of answers have to be, a lot of questions need answers here. And for that matter, there was a list they just put out recently of hospitals that are in danger of closing. And oddly enough, Palisade Hospital in North Bergen was on that list. Now, they just did a lot of work on their ER. I don't see Palisades. The people in this medical business far more involved in it than I am. I thought Palisades is safe, but right now it's hard to tell. It is a very difficult business right now. The only ones that are making money are the insurance companies. They're making big money with the medical insurance and the mergings of hospitals. And eventually, you're not going to have a lot of choice, because you're going to have two hospital systems in New Jersey eventually. Hackensack Meridian and RWJ Barnabas. If people are talking about opening Christ Hospital as a standalone, that ain't going to work. Standalone is not working. It's got to be part of a system. The idea of having the 4 hospitals with HRH made sense. Actually, I would have had the county involved in that. Like I said before, we should have got the county involved. County could have brought Meadowview in. There would have been 5 hospitals. Craig Guy, if you want to get money from Trenton, Craig Guy is probably the best guy to get money out of Trenton. Maybe that's something we revisit. If we can get our hand, we got to get these hospitals on their feet. Bayonne's got 1,000 layoff notices right now. Bayonne University Hospital. Price Hospital is closed. Hoboken can't pay their parking fees. We need to get these hospitals back on their feet. And if it takes a partnership, a public-private partnership, bringing in the county of Hudson and those 3 municipalities, and they get seats on the board, the mayors or who they so designate, so be it. And you're going to have 4 hospitals with Meadowview in there, and you'll have the county and the 3 municipalities on the board. And like I said, hand on the wheel, their steering thing. The way it's going now, as you can see, this ain't going to work. These hospitals are in danger. Christ Hospital's closed. Bayonne Hospital may close. Or I want to talk to Jimmy Davis. He may not want to talk about this because I know Jimmy Davis is sitting somewhere saying, son of a B, I knew this was a bad move. I knew it, but I let these guys talk me into it. I'd like to hear his opinion on this. Emily Jabbar in Hoboken kind of new on the job. She's aware of what's going on in Hoboken. She probably doesn't want to get into dirty water right now. You know, she's working on her own budget problems in Hoboken. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. I got like 12 different items, and I didn't get to all the items that I write about. But we certainly need some answers. And we be antagonistic as we want to be. And believe me, HRH inspires antagonism on how they're dealing with the city. And actually the state too, but more the city. Yeah, this is not a good time for Mayor Solomon. This is not the way he wanted to start his administration. But as I said before, Solomon should have started a lot earlier and wait for that 11th hour to do something at Christ Hospital. We knew during the debates going into the mayor's election, there was a problem here. That should have been job one on the second day. After the inauguration, you wake up, shake off that hangover from the inauguration, and let's get to the business of the hospital. That we didn't do. And now we're paying the price of that now. Again, Solomon tried everything, but all 11th hour. Now Solomon's got to sit there and say, what do we do? The quickest way to get Christ Hospital open again is with HRH. So somehow we have to come to a meeting of the minds. It's almost like Trump dealing with Iran. You don't know what to believe coming out of HRH. It's the same thing right now with ceasefire. Iran agrees to one thing. Then the negotiators go back to Iran from Pakistan, and the military junta there turns around and says, oh, no, we're not agreeing to that. So you just don't know what to believe and how to go forward. But we need to go forward. So we got to bring these guys in, sit down, and get very pointed with them on what the city can do, what the city could do to increase revenue stream in there. How we can do some shared services. They got the school system. They got all sorts of medical needs in Jersey City and the county. We could do some work there with the county also. We've got to try to help them. But we need to get our hands on the wheel. Hear that also. But right now, as it stands, don't look like these guys can run a hospital. Somewhere along the line, I bet the state starts looking at Secaucus Hospital. Say, you want to screw around at the Department of Health? We'll show you what screwing around is all about. I guarantee you they start looking into other aspects of the HRH. But somehow there's got to be a meeting of the minds here. But it's got to be a very determined meeting of the mind. There's got to be some hammers there. Hammers that can drop. Solomon's got to get to that toolbox and get some hammers there. All right, let's go to the next thing. Next thing on the sheet here. Let me get this out of here also. Talking about Iran. Our check valve in the Middle East is Israel. Israel has been our ally since Israel was formed. They've always been an ally of the United States. They've been our check valve. They've been our eyes and ears in the Middle East. Recently, the federal senators at the Senate voted not to sell arms to Israel, weapons. I don't know if this Trump derangement syndrome, these guys are siding with Iran. I don't know what the deal is with turning on Israel. Without Israel, without the United States' help, chances are Israel probably wouldn't exist. You got to have the big shadow of the United States and the power of its democracy. Selling them weapons, we've done forever and ever, only strengthens them. You want to weaken, you want to make things worse in the Middle East? Have a weak Israel. Our ally we can count on. And we're working with the all the other Middle Eastern countries, but that has gone back and forth. Israel has been our ally from the beginning. we should support our allies because then it becomes a matter of what is our word worth. Sell the weapons to them. Their money's good. It's never been peace in the Middle. That's why I keep what Trump's trying to get. Middle East, peace in the Middle East. Hasn't happened in my lifetime. Hasn't happened a few lifetimes before me. I know there's never been peace in the Middle East. But there definitely won't be if there's not a strong Israel. So that's just foolishness. Yeah, it's not. That's the problem we have with the government right now. It's the Dems versus Republicans. Just do the effing job of the people. Stop with the BS. We hate Trump. We hate Trump. We hate Republicans. They're terrible. The Dems are terrible. Everybody's terrible. Schumer's terrible. Everybody's. Stop it. The campaign is over. Once the campaign is over, it's the business of the people. It's the business of the country. Just do that. Stop trying to throw monkey wrenches and the fascist things all the time. It's so high schoolish. Then listen to some of these people talk. You shake your head and said, especially when it comes to Iran. Yeah, I don't forget the hostages. I don't forget the coal. I don't forget all the terrorist attacks. I don't forget 9/11. And for the last 40 years, the Democrats are saying we can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. We can't let Iran be a military power. Well, not now. You should be happy with what the hell's going on there. But you got these guys out there, running their mouths. Look like they're more favoring Iran than the United States there. Just do the job of the people. Try to figure out how to make the nation safe. Try to get a handle on affordability, because we keep talking affordability. There's nothing affordable right now. The price of gas, I assume, once we're done with the problem in the Straits of Hormuz, the price of gas will come down. Which, from what I understand, we don't even use any of that fuel coming out of the Middle East. We got our own fuel here. I don't know why our price of gas is up. Again, we're not importing it. It's ours. We drill, baby, drill. So somebody's got to answer that question for me. Well, let me get back to that's my global pitch for today. Let me get back here. Recently, I think it was about a week and a half ago, a woman was detained by ICE in Jersey City. I think there was somebody else detained. I think about 2 weeks ago, I'm riding down Central Avenue towards Washington Park, going north, and this guy's got this woman by the shoulder, and kind of like closer to her neck, and he's pushing her across the way. And I stop and I'm looking at him. He actually moved his jacket and he shows me his gun. Shows the gun, and there was a couple other guys. Now you see that they're law enforcement. And they put her in the back of this black Ford Explorer or Expedition, something like that. And you realize this was ICE. And you see the people on the sidewalks, the people who knew the woman, they knew what was going on. But recently there was another one, I think it was downtown Jersey City, where she was detained by ICE. And, of course, everybody's upset. We don't know what the situation is. And one of the things Solomon said, the city was not involved. The city was not involved with the arrest, or did they have any information on it? That's the problem. These sanctuary cities, and we put these laws in. Well, we're not gonna work with ICE. Then ICE isn't gonna work with you. You want to make this safe? Have law enforcement work with ICE. If ICE is coming into Jersey City, or ICE is going to do a raid, or whatever you want to call it, lock one person up. I don't know if that's a raid. Let them check in with the Jersey City police. Let the police go along with the body cameras to make sure everything's done right. Right now, nobody's there. I got these rapid response civilians, which I think is crazy that we have rapid response civilians possibly arriving at an ICE situation where people can get hurt. A civilian can get hurt. I know their hearts are in the right place, but that's dangerous. That's not a place for civilians. That's professional law enforcement. But you want to know what's going on? Then cooperate with them. Let them work with our police department. We got a great police department. ICE could come in and say, listen, we got some warrants here. We're going to lock up this person and that person. We're going down to Summit Avenue, Montgomery Street, or Columbus Drive, wherever the hell we're going, and send one of the officers with us, or two officers. They got the body cam, and they can witness what's going on. They know how it's to be done. They know what's right and wrong. Right now, we're not cooperating. So then we sit here and say, oh, I don't understand. We got to have this person released. We're involved in it. We didn't know anything about it. Because you don't want to know anything about it. You've said, I don't want to be involved. We're a sanctuary city. We're not going to work with ICE. So they're not going to work with you. So you don't know what the hell's going on. You don't know what's happening to the people in the city until you get something on social media that this guy or this woman was taken by ICE. But if we cooperate with them, I'm not saying you got to go and do the raid with them, but you supervise the raid. You watch the raid. You got your body camera. You can turn around and say, whoop, wait a minute. You're not supposed to do that. ICE, you're not supposed to do that. You have the cops there to do that. They're in the back here and just saying, well, we're a sanctuary city. We're not going to work with you. We're not going to be involved. And then you're crying, oh, we didn't know about it. We weren't involved and we didn't know anything about it. Because you don't want to be involved. The safest way to deal with ICE is for our law enforcement to be involved. They know how this goes down. Let them be involved. So know what the hell's going on, where the person's going. Because the cops will say, we're going to take them, get all that information. They're not going to give that information to these civilians who, I don't know how their lifestyle permits them to pop up at any point of the day when they hear there's an ICE sighting. I think they're hanging out at the courthouses looking for ICE sightings there. But stop that. Let ICE, let the JCPD, let North Bergen PD, Union City PD, whatever PD we're talking about, work with ICE. And the state troopers. Let them work with ICE so you know what the hell's going on and it's being done properly. I'm not saying you just to support them, but you make sure it's being done right. And then we wouldn't be wondering where this woman is. We wouldn't know what the circumstances were. You would have known. ICE would have said, this is what's happening, blah, 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 blah. Georgia City Police can say, all right, let's go out and see what we got here. We don't do that. And that's a real problem. Distress City money, before we go to commercial. We're looking for $150 million. No word on that yet, by the way. But it's a little problematic when the city gave out a bunch of raises recently. I don't know how the state's going to look at that and say, give us some raises. We just hired a new head of the DPW. That guy's got a lot of background, got a lot of experience. Looks like a good hire. But I don't know if we're spending more money because we went from, we had like a split job there with Craig Hurst. He was OEM and DPW. I don't think he was pulling two salaries on that, so we were probably spending he's still with OEM, and now we got a full standalone director, which I understand what Solomon's trying to do. He wants to get the best possible people. I think Greg did a good job, but the winter storm took an effect there, and he was they were looking for a scapegoat, and Greg was looking pretty woolly, so he took the hit there. But this guy, he's coming from New York City. Probably do a great job. We'll find out as time goes by. I don't know how that's going to work when we're looking to get money from Trenton. We're spending money here. For that matter, Patterson just asked. Was it Patterson? Yeah, Patterson just asked for $48.5 million in distress city aid. I don't know. Nobody's getting the whole loaf. I really doubt Jersey City gets $150 million. Hopefully we get something. It's certainly taken a while. It might help along if Solomon would start making these moves, but how he's cutting the budget, how he's going to rein in the course of the city. And God, I hate using the word affordability because it's just not affordable when you keep jacking up taxes. And how you can make things affordable here in Jersey City or New Jersey for that matter. But Jersey City, we're the golden door here. Nothing's affordable. You're about to get a 20% tax increase from the Jersey City Board of Education. You got $1 billion plus budget, and yet they're still raising the taxes. Jersey City is certainly going to hit you. The county's got a very difficult budget this time around. You're certain to see some tax increases there. And we can talk about affordability all we want. When we keep jacking up the cost of the city, there's no affordability. We have to come up with another plan. You want affordable housing? Dealing with the developers, and you give us 10% affordable housing, we'll give you 10 more floors on your building. Those 10 more floors draw on the city services. It's a vicious cycle there, and we keep coming up on the losing end of that. We got 10% of the building is affordable. The other 90% is going to be sucking up city services. And we gave an extra 10 floors, so we get that 10% affordable. Again, as I said before, I go for commercial. We'll do this again. In the old days, we built affordable housing. It involved the feds, it involved the state, it involved the county, it involved the municipalities, and we built affordable housing. Where I was born, Dogpatch, Jersey City, St. Paul's West Side, just up from the Hackensack River. This is what we call the row. That was all affordable housing built by the government and the city and the county, that sort of thing. Curry Woods was a beautiful place back in the 70s. We were also horrible landlords. Like the man Danny is talking about bad landlords. but he exempted the New York City Housing Authority. They're terrible landlords. Jersey City the same way. We're terrible landlords. Bill Gorham, rest his soul, would say we're terrible landlords, and he's right. We let Curry Woods fall to hell. Duncan Projects. It wasn't Duncan. I wouldn't call it projects. It was Duncan something. Holland Gardens, Montgomery Gardens. Yeah, we let all that either fall to hell, or we let developers look at it and say, "Oh, it'd be a nice piece of property to build some high rises on. Let's take it, and we'll bring some of these people back." Like when they knocked out Curry Woods, they built a bunch of townhouses on the site, but they probably only brought it back about 20-30% of the people who live in Curry Woods. There's only one building standing. I think it's 1 or 3 Heckman Drive. No, I tell you, when my mom died back in '66, we were living on 71 Merritt Street, 7C, up there at Curry Woods. That was a nice apartment. I had a view with a little kid. I even appreciated the view then. I was like 7. Looking out on the Hackensack River. You see the boats coming in and out. That was a nice view. It was a nice building. They're all gone. We're probably still paying the notes on it, the bonds on those buildings, but they're all gone. That's how we need to start building affordable housing. Do it, let the government do it on its own. And then it'll be 100% affordable housing. That's probably the best way to go. It worked before. It can work again. All right, you're listening to The City Show here on GGR. I'm Pat O'Melia. We're going to break for commercial. I'll be right back. Extra Space Storage, half space. Self-storage units starting at 4 foot by 4 foot and up for the storage of furniture, appliances, electronics, clothing, business inventory, sporting equipment. Some Extra Space locations even have vehicle storage. Extra Space Storage from North Bergen to Toms River and everywhere in between and beyond. Visit on the net for your nearest Extra Space Storage location, extraspace.com.
Panapinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panapintodevelopment.com. Panapinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Your basement or attic packed? You no longer have a garage? Extra Space Storage, half space. Self-storage units starting at 4 foot by 4 foot and up for the storage of furniture, appliances, electronics, clothing, business inventory, sporting equipment. Some Extra Space locations even have vehicle storage. Extra Space Storage from North Bergen to Toms River and everywhere in between and beyond. Visit on the net for your nearest Extra Space Storage location, extraspace.com. Hi, I'm Pat O'Melia with the Hudson County High School Sports and Entertainment Network, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. You may have heard me talk about teaching high school juniors and seniors studio and radio production. The hope is when these kids graduate and wish to continue their education, they may receive college scholarships, or if not, they will have the experience from our program to get employment at the major motion movie studios here in New Jersey and New York. I started a GoFundMe where you can make a donation completely tax deductible to help these kids and the studio program. Please go to GoFundMe and type in Hudson County High School Sports and Entertainment Network. I thank you now for your generosity. Toms River Armory, 602 Clifton Avenue, right at the intersection of Clifton Avenue and Route 37 at Toms River. Your local source for all your firearm, ammo needs, and accessories. Plus, gunsmithing, repair, and cleaning on site. And coming soon, firearm training and classes. Toms River Armory, 732-569-3730 on the net at tomsriverarmory.com. Open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tom's River Armory, 602 Clifton Avenue at the intersection of Route 37 and Clifton Avenue in Tom's River. Visit on the net at tomsriverarmory.com.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
All right, I'm back. You're listening to The City Show here on GGR. As I said before, tell your friends. Download the app, especially if you're in Ward D or Ward B. Download that app. You're going to have your council people doing their monthly town hall meetings. And you could be using that 800 number. You'll be able to call toll-free and say, Jake, what's going on Central Avenue? And you can do it toll-free. Same thing with Joel down in B. You can say, listen, Joel, what's going on with the old Rita and Joe's building? Why can't we have a good Italian restaurant over there again? That's stuff you can bring up to Joe. I got to get Joel his dates. I got to send him an email. Jake, I think, is May the 19th. I think it's at 5 o'clock he's going to do his. Yeah, I think it's tonight. Save the date. The executive director of the Jersey City Redevelopment Agency is looking at the door, the exit door. After, I think, today's meeting, she will no longer be the executive director. She's got about a year and a half to go on her contract. Obviously, the mayor of Jersey City is not satisfied with her performance there and would like to have somebody else in that seat. So they're, I'm sure by now they have negotiated a little exit plan for this individual and be leaving with a nice little check to forego the last year and a half or so of the contract. I think the contract was good till August 2027. They got like a year and a half to go there. I've had issues with the Jersey City Redevelopment Agency under this person's guidance. For that matter, this person is not a big fan of mine. We've had conversations over the Lowe's Theater, these conference calls, and there was zero respect for the Friends of the Lowe's in that building on how they maintained it and how they saved it and how they improved upon it. And there was zero respect from Jersey City Redevelopment Agency, and a lot of zero respect with the who will be the tenant. I'm going to tell you, this deal is going to turn to crap. I'm telling you, this deal with the Devils. Yeah, it's going to be a devil deal, all right. It's going to turn bad. I'm telling you, it's going to turn bad. They have like zero respect for anything that has to do with Jersey City, I think. Well, we'll see how that plays out, but I think Solomon looked at it. He's caught a lot of the heat with the lack of respect for the Friends of the Lowe's. And I think Solomon just turned around and said, you got to go. Well, I want to tell you something. I'm also hearing that isn't the only autonomous agency director's position that's probably going to change somewhere in the near future. Some of these positions that are filled, holdover people, you may want to call them from the Phillip administration. They kind of got a contract before the Solomon administration came in that Solomon was stuck with. I don't think Solomon wants to be stuck with these people. So look for some more changes. We may have to eat some contracts here. Yeah, some of these people probably aren't suited for the job they have, but Phillip wasn't going to be the mayor. He wanted to find some soft landing spots. Is probably what occurred there, in my opinion. And these people got these contracts in different positions within the city, in autonomous agencies, sort of thing, or contracts with the state, with the city itself in various departments. If you have one of those contracts and you're kind of a holdover from the Phillip administration, chances are I wouldn't buy. I would rent. I would start looking for another job. Well, Solomon's not going to be stuck with people he doesn't want to be stuck with. Now, after a year or so, Solomon's probably not going to want to be stuck with the people he brought in with him, but that always happens. Whether it was Glenn, whether it was Healy, whether it was Fulop, after a year or so, you're not dancing with the people that brought you there. So there's all changes that happen. You brought your team with you, and it sounds good in the bar. He's going to be great at that job. He'll be great at this job, and we win. You're going to run that. You're going to run this, and then reality comes in, and oh man, he's not really good at that job, or she's not really good at that job. So we got to get rid of that person. So usually after the first year or so, a lot of people move on. They take that, we're going to go into the private sector. And off to the private sector they go. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, if you're one of those people that got one of those contracts at the end of the full administration, you're probably not on good solid ground right now. And rightfully so. Right now, Chris Fiore is going to be the interim director of the Jersey City Redevelopment Agency. Chris may not be a bad choice to run it permanently. I've known Chris, I guess, about 20 years. He was involved with the Jersey Journal Square Restoration Corporation up there. He took good care of the square as best you could with the limited resources. We did the 9/11 ceremonies all the time with Chris. He did a very good job, dedicated kid. He was always walking around up there when he was involved, when he was overseeing Journal Square. I can see Chris doing a very good job there. So hopefully he gets a solid consideration for that job. Because he's a good kid. Let's go back to the dollars and cents. Hoboken. Emily Jabbar there. New mayor. I like Emily. She's going to try her damnedest to get things under control. But the reality is, like it happened to Solomon. She got into the mayor's office, opened up the desk drawer, and then friggin' demons jumped out of there. Very expensive demons. And now she was looking at $17 million. I think she's whittled it down to about $13 million deficit. Which, when you listen to Jersey City, we're in the hope of $250 million. $13 million doesn't sound too bad. It's like petty cash. Oh, well, come up with $13 million somehow, right? Buy some lottery tickets. She's got it down $4 million so far. Somewhere along the line, you got some tax increases coming. I know the Hoboken Board of Ed just pile on. I think they're hitting with a 20% tax increase. Hoboken's probably 8%, 9%, something like that. And she'll fight tooth and nail to get that number down. And she'll probably do some voodoo economics, as they used to call it with Reagan. Wasn't Reagan with the voodoo economics? To try to bring that number down lower, if she can kick some of these next year, that she gets a better handle on what the hell's going on. It'll probably just behoove her. But right now, she put a hiring freeze on, which is saving Hoboken about $600,000 a year. So you only got like another $13 million to go. There's 12 and a half or so. Yeah. What else can you freeze? Can you freeze few of these departments? Hoboken and Jersey City and the county, excuse me. They should get together on some shared services. Now, I know the county handles some of the road work in Hoboken. I don't know how that happened. They got like Willow Avenue as a county road. There should be more shared services between Jersey City and Hoboken and pull the county in. There's such redundancy between the county and the municipalities. Cultural affairs, there's health department. We have cultural affairs. We got health departments in Jersey City. Same thing with Hoboken. Do we need the redundancy here? And you pay for all that redundancy, by the way. Now, maybe that's the kind of thing you need to start looking at. The redundancy between the county, Jersey City, and Hoboken. These are very the next door neighbors with Hoboken and Jersey City, and the county is in Jersey City, basically. See, the county seat is Jersey City. That's where we have to start looking at something. Maybe you got the sheriff's department, you do some shared services with law enforcement. There is probably a ton of things, if you seriously want to look at it, where you have redundancies with the various departments between Hoboken, Jersey City, and the county. And you can go even further. You got Union City sitting over there. You can do some shared services over there. I know we talked about a merger with the fire department of JC and Hoboken. Oh, there would be a big merger there. Hoboken's a mile square. So, yeah, that's a possibility. All these things should be on the table and truly researched. Emily and Solomon should figure out what can we do together that can save our constituents money. What can we do to save the taxpayers money? And, the two level-headed people. So sit down, look at it, bring Craig Guy in, say, you got this, we got this. We all of us have the same thing. Do we all need our own cultural affairs? Do we all need our own health departments? And you go further down the line where we have the redundancy that it's getting very expensive. It ain't getting any cheaper going forward. Every year it gets more expensive. So we've got to figure out how to reduce some of these expenses. And I think the best thing is through shared services. One of these cities have to be the big guy. If you're doing road paving, we're going to do a bunch of road paving in Hoboken. Jersey City should do road paving. We should have our own equipment, our own people to do that. We spend millions of dollars every year. We'll write a check. We're going to do some road paving. We'll write a check for $16 million. It's pretty damn easy to write a check with someone else's money. But if we had the equipment and the manpower, we could do ours. We could do something for the state. We could do something for the county. We could do it for the Hoboken. We could reduce their expenses and we make money. You going to tell me we can't do it cheaper? I would assume we can if we get the right personnel. Got this guy coming over from New York now. He's our new DPW director. Tell him to take a look at that. Can we do the road paving ourselves? Can we do actual repairs and maintenance and upgrades ourselves instead of contracting that out? That's the same thing in Hoboken. Look at all the redundancy and where we're spending a big check. Emily and Solomon should look at that and say, there's a lot of money on road repairs here. Is there something we can do about that? And you got the county looming there, too. They got a DPW department. So that's kind of things we need to look into. As you heard that commercial, I do a program where I'm teaching juniors and seniors from high school radio and TV production. Actually, I'm talking to a few other educational concerns right now also. We have the control van. The control van that picks at me all the time. Had a problem with the bumper. I'm not sure what happened to the bumper. I don't know. The snowplow guy might have hit it. Who knows? Whatever. But we need a new bumper. So I got the new bumper. Last week, riding along, somebody now the driver's side, passenger side door doesn't lock all the way. The secondary isn't working. So I got to get a latch for that. Fortunately, there are junkyards. They call it recycling yards, record yards now. There's one of the best ones you could have is in North Bergen on Tunley Avenue. Westside Auto Records, those guys are good down there. And they're really reasonable. And I spoke to them. I give them the sob story. I'm teaching these kids. It's a 501c nonprofit. It's a high school control van. We're trying to get this thing ready. They hit the roads. I got it lined up. I got the shelves in there. We got the equipment for it now. We want to do some broadcasting a baseball game. Want the kids doing that, doing the analysis and play-by-play. We want to do some live filming with a ceremony set when these guys go out and break ground. The mayor's we want to be there. For that matter, we just I don't know how we got sucked into this, but we just did a concert at an elementary school. We covered that. But that again, the concerts, the school they didn't know what equipment they had, so we didn't know exactly what we needed to bring. So I'm going to do an inventory of the North Bergen school system and what equipment they have. So I need a door latch. The guy that at Westside Records had a truck. So they got the latch, they pulled it off, and they did a good job. They only charged me $20. And I tell you what, it cost a lot more than $20 just to get that latch off there. But they're good guys. And I know they're doing it. We were doing it for the high school kids, and we're trying to help the kids along. And that was what looked at me like, we shouldn't charge you anything, but give us $20. So I got the latches, things. Yeah, it probably got. I could put it on eBay and get $200 for this thing. But thank you, the Westside Auto Records. I've been dealing with them for years. The first place I called. Recently, I just bought some rims for my Chevy Evo. Guys are good. They do a good job. You don't pick the parts yourself; they bring it out to you. So they're right down here on Tunley Avenue in North Bergen, just before Route 3, on the northbound side of Tunley Avenue, Route 109. Just before the Wendy's. Yeah, right? Yeah, they're just before the Wendy's there, I think. But if you're looking for parts, and you can get used parts, you don't have to buy them new all the time, you don't have to wait for eBay. You can call the guys at Westside Auto Records and make model year, and they may say, hey, we got the part. Come on down. You'll get it down. You can put it on this weekend. And I'll get this latch put on. I'm going to put I got the knee. I got the bad knee. I was going to do the bumper myself. I could get down, but I can't get up. So I'm going to get that taken care of by one of our body shops that we deal with. So get that done. But again, thank you guys. Coach House. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. The Coach House is no more on Kennedy Boulevard in North Bergen there. And oddly enough, the Coach House in North Bergen, North Coach House in Hackensack is no more. They closed last Thursday. And that's going to be a car wash. I don't know what's going to happen with the Coach House here in North Bergen. I don't know about a car wash there. Somebody's talking about putting some residential. I'll keep an eye on the planning board in North Bergen. I could see that being a restaurant. It's amazing the Coach House is gone. It was such a money. It was like they printed their own money in that place. It was amazing. But yeah, now it's gone. And I don't know how many times I was at the Coach House in my life. They were good for breakfast. Let's put it this way. Let's be honest. Coach House was good for breakfast. It got a little dicey for dinner. They never the orders right. But I remember my daughter and I, when Gina was younger, we used to go there like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning for the floor show. And it was great. And they would mess up the order. There was terrible service. They'd get the orders wrong all the time. There would be always some sort of an issue. Looking back on it, it's probably stupid that I go there with my daughter. But, you know, something jumped ugly, went sideways. And I'm certain I could have handled it back then. I was a Jersey City guy, you know. I know what I could do there. But it's sad that the Coach House is gone. All those people out of work. Same thing with the one in Hackensack. All these people are out of work. All right, let's take our last commercial break. You're listening to the City Show here on GGR. We'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just 1 pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
All right, we're back. Pat O'Melia here on the City Show on GGR. Got about 3 minutes of show left. The New York Giants pulled off another trade. So now they have 2 first-rounders in Thursday. This Thursday is the NFL draft. Oddly enough, the Jets and the Giants both have 2 first-rounders. So you can see some trading going on. You can see some improvements. The Giants are further along than our cousins, the Jets, are. The Jets need Aaron Glenn's on the clock. The head coach there. It wasn't good last year. And probably not going to be much better this year. Unless they can get some decent players in the draft. They got quite a few draft choices, the Jets. Hopefully, Aaron Glenn was a great Jet when he was a player. And he was a good coach. He was a good coach with Detroit. But you get to the Jets, and there's that devil deal. Joe Namath made a devil deal. Simple as that. No matter how close the Jets may get to being good, the devil deal comes back. Remember when Vinny Testaverde? It was looking good with Vinny, wasn't it? When he had the Vinny blows out the Achilles. Yeah, that's it for that. It's Aaron Rodgers. Oh, man, when people are hot. Oh, Aaron Rodgers. We got Aaron Rodgers. Things are going to change. Yeah, he ran 3 plays. Beep. ACL. Achilles tendon, yeah. Same thing with Vinny. Vinny with the Achilles. Vinny Testaverde. I don't know what the deal is, what kind of exorcism you have to do with the Jets. But something has to be done. And they say it's ownership. This same problem with Leon Hess. It just teases the Jet fans. Bill Parcells, yeah, great coach. Jets, he got jettisoned. No matter what Bill Parcells got, he got close. He could have been Denver. Could have been to the Super Bowl again. Could have been the first coach. Would have taken 3 different teams to the Super Bowl. But that didn't happen because it's the Jets. The Arc Tunnel, we were just down there today, and my wife with me today. Down at Patterson Lake Road, showing all the work that's going on there. You know, they're making some real headway with that Arc Tunnel. And now they got the boring devices in there. These like huge bits, they're like 29 feet wide, that are going to bore the holes through there. So if you're living there on Patterson Plank Road going into Union City, things are going to start shaking pretty soon for you there. Because those things are going to make a lot of vibration. But I tell you, I was down on Tunley, then I was up on Patterson Plank Road looking at it. They're making a lot of headway. Even my wife said, "What is that over there?" I said, "That's the Arc Tunnel." All right, listen, I'm out of show. I'm out of time. You be good. You be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.
Say you don't know me, I recognize my face. Say you don't care who goes to that kind of place. Knee deep in the hoopla, sinking in your